Here I am at Ferry Village, just a quick video. Well, yes, it'll be talking about a few things I've spoken about before, really. Well, that's the thing, it always will be, because, yeah, I've mentioned quite a lot of stuff already, so it's going to be going across a few things I've spoken before, but there you go, no worries. But last night I was thinking about a lot of things, and basically God said, yeah, going forward in a church doesn't mean you're saved. Okay, I basically said that for years anyway, but this time God said that. So, okay. But it's an important point, because the church basically teaches that going forward in a meeting does, mean you're saved if you go forward and give your life to God, because you've given your life to God, right? Yeah, problem is it doesn't work. The reason why it doesn't work is you take it back pretty much straight away. Yeah, most people will do that. More or less immediately, because they've not been taught how to give their life to God, so therefore they can't really do it, can they? Not at that stage. So obviously it doesn't work. But there are people in church who really believe that because they went forward in a meeting, that they're saved. That they went forward and said, I give my life to God, and boom, they're saved. They don't need to do anything more. And that's why they've basically done nothing more. They just sat back, with their feet up, realising that they don't need to do any more, because, well, why? If I'm saved, why do I need to do more? I'm sorted. I'm saved now. If I die, I go to heaven. So, that's cool. Is that a bird there, or is that a... Oh, it's a fake bird. Okay, Christy. It was obviously in a tree trying to scare off other birds or something. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Still lots of trees down. Whether this is new stuff that's been taken down, it seems quite new. I don't remember most of the stuff being down previously. We had a bit more wind. They've been cutting trees down, clearly, but they seem quite healthy, that tree. It's been cut down. There you go. I imagine the tree fellas know a bit more about it than I do, so there you go. Anyway, my point is that, when you take, at any point in time, if you take a bit of your life back from God, you may think you've taken a bit back, but you've actually taken it all back. Because with God, it's either all or nothing. You can't be part of the way in. You're either in or you're not. So, that's the situation. God has basically said, no, it doesn't work. And it doesn't work for all those reasons, pretty much. You do have to give your life to God. But you have to know how, and you have to learn how. Learning how is the process as you grow, and if you're being led and guided, then you'll learn how to do that. Because don't go to church thinking that you're going to learn how to do that, because they haven't. I said before what the church is, and the problem is that is what the church is. Generally speaking, the church has been led and guided and programmed by the devil over decades and decades and decades. So, don't go to them to learn how to grow, because they're not going to teach you, because they haven't been teaching people how to grow. They've been teaching people how to go to church, how to sing with head, not with heart. Because put it this way, if you're in a situation and if you have any sort of relationship with God, and you go to a church and they've got praise and worship, and they're singing praise and worship, but they're singing it with heart, there'll be people in tears. Because what does worship mean? Worship means that you are so incredibly in love. If you're that incredibly in love and you're singing a song to that person you're incredibly in love to, you're going to be in tears. If you're singing praise, then you're singing praise for what God has done in your life. If you're recognising what God has done in your life and you're singing a song to God as a thank you for that, you're going to be in tears. How often when you go to church do you see people crying? Do you see people in tears during praise and worship? Generally speaking, it doesn't happen. Because it's not about heart, it's about head. Of course it's about head, because the devil doesn't want you developing a good relationship with God. Now, you'll have sometimes God will just basically go in there and say, these are my people. Even though they're being led by the one who isn't mine, they're still my people. Yeah. There's still a chance for these people, of course. Of course. They're where they are. And it's not about judging them, it's just about saying that's the situation. It is. It's just like beforehand. They would say of the religious church that simply going to church on a Sunday, going to church at Christmas and Easter, didn't mean you'd be saved. And they were right. But what the charismatic church is doing is no different. Coming forward in a meeting is you starting the journey. That's you starting the journey. You starting your relationship with God, with Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And what the church basically says is that, you have to be in the Lord and the Lord has to be in you. No. Again, no. Because if you're in the Lord, you haven't gone through, have you? But the Lord said, no one comes to the Father except through me. Through means you have to go through, not in. So therefore, again, the church is wrong. And most people have no experience of a relationship with God. So the whole point of, God being in us, no. God's only in us when we're in a situation when we've been able to give our lives to God. Then he can come in. But if we're taking bits back all the time and we're trying to manage our lives ourselves, or we're saying, well, we can do this bit and we haven't got the patience waiting for that, so we're just going to make a decision now, then that's us taking our lives back. And our lives don't belong to God, therefore he's not going to reside in us, is he? Not really. Oh, to a certain degree, but not really. I'm going this way. But basically, we all have a choice to make. We make choices all the time as to what we're going to eat, what we're going to drink, what we're going to wear, where we're going to sleep. What sort of car we're going to buy, what sort of job we're going to take. And all these things, they're all choices that we get to make in life. Well, we get to choose. Are we going to go the way of God or go the way of the devil? Now, a lot of people over the years would have thought that if they're in church, they're going the way of God. No, you're not. You're going the way of the devil. Just look at the church. Look for the evidence. Now, in some churches you'll have evidence because some churches are, still doing things according to the will and the ways of Father. But most aren't. And so most that aren't, you're not going to see any evidence of that, are you? You look at when Yeshua was on the earth, there was evidence that God is with us. There was evidence of that. Look in your church. Look in your life. Is there evidence that God is with us? Is there evidence in you? Is there evidence in your church? Is there evidence in your community that God is with us? If not, then you've got to ask the question, then who's running your church? If it isn't God, then who is it? It can't be just man. If it isn't God, it's going to be the devil. There are only two options to choose from. There's not God, man, and the devil. There's just God and the devil. That's it. Those are your choices. That's the reality. That's the reality that people will have to choose. So we have to get to the point where we can properly give our lives to God. That means giving our heart, our mind, our soul, and our spirit, which basically means every single thing. Because your body means every part of your body. Your mind means every part. Your soul means every part of your soul. And then your spirit. You give the whole, everything to Father. And you leave it there. You understand. See, first of all, we have to understand that, well, as I said before, as a decision maker, I'm not very good at that at all. Most people aren't. The people that think they are, really aren't. Either. That's the thing. It's like someone doggy coming. So I'll wait over here a sec. Yeah. So if we're not good at decisions, then we have to give our lives to someone who's actually going to be a damn sight better than we are. And that's God. Nothing we can do about it, can we? If we're not good with decisions, then we have to give our lives to God. Because, you know, God has done a pretty good job. I mean, if you think about it, if God has to basically be the one to control the whole world and the people in it, at least to a certain degree, I'd say he's done a pretty good job considering. There's a lot to handle. And there's a massive picture to take care of, and yeah. Well, is he going to do a worse job than I have? Not really. No. That's the thing, it's not about beating yourself up, about your decision making being so bad. It's not about that, it's just about realising that, well, as I said before, I can only see the picture that's right in front of me. That's the only thing I can see. I can't see anymore. But God can see the whole picture. He can see what's in my past, what's now, and what's in my future. So therefore, the paths I need to go down, Father God knows what the paths are. I don't. I may come to a crossroad and see a number of paths, but I haven't got that much of an idea as what's down each one of them. God knows exactly what's down each path. He knows which path I need to take. Now, there may be a path that looks absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, you've got beautiful flowers, and all the other paths look a bit sort of dark and dingy. But the beautiful path might be the one with the worst ending. We don't know that, but God does. The path that looks the worst, a bit craggy, that might be the one that smooths out the best, and has the best outlook and has the best destination. But we don't know that because we can't see that. We can only see what we can see. Once you understand that, then you get to the point where you are coming closer. I wouldn't say you're ready necessarily, because am I ready yet? I don't know. Have I given all that to Father yet? Don't think so, not yet. No. Because I think there would be a sea change. I think there would. There'd be a huge change in everything about me would change if I did that. That's the point. It would be a radical change, because if I gave all of that to God, then that would be of heaven, then not of earth, or not of the world, and therefore that would be incredibly different. But obviously I haven't done that yet. But that's the point, isn't it? That's what I need to do, because that was the first thing I was told. You have to give your life to God. So, okay, I'm now learning a bit more about how we do that. But it's not going forward in a meeting and saying, I give my life to God. There are a lot of people in church who are not saved, who never were. But they go to church, and so they have this false sense of security, thinking that they were saved when they never were. And that isn't good. Well, that's the thing with truth, isn't it? Truth isn't easy. Truth isn't something which is good. I mean, basically, look, if we have an understanding that to be saved, you have to go on a journey, you have to reach a destination, then if the people leading the church understand that, then they have to help people to walk that walk. That means that the leaders have to actually lead. And the people in charge of the church They've utterly and totally failed to do that. They have no desire to do that. They really don't. As I said before, there is that situation where nobody wants to hold anyone else to accountability. Yeah, because if you hold your pastor accountable, your pastor will hold you accountable, and nobody wants that really. And your pastor doesn't want to hold you accountable, because then you'll hold him accountable, or her, and they don't want that. So they just pretend that they're saved, they just pretend that everything's okay. Yeah, not good. Because you are going to die at some point in time. Well, a lot of people will still die, and with that being the case, you're going to go to a destination, one that you've been working out, apparently. But you haven't, have you? That's the point. So there you go. I'm going to leave you to it. You take care, God bless. Have a look at the daffodil. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.